Daily Report newspaper, Thursday the 11th of April 2024 afternoon news, marketing business news, Shell, BP Garage and the fuel industry. Welcome once again to another marketing business news article. Today we will be looking at the fuel industry and the distribution center for transportation to make citizens' lives easier when it's time to locate into the destination on time. Fuel is one of the main sources a car needs to function. Without fuel the car won't be able to move. Nowadays electronic cars invention came in the car industry and replaced the fuel to keep the car in road for it to be able to function. While electric charging stations are still being built in the cities that have people who are using electric cars, the fuel station is still available and cars that use fuel are still on the process to decrease in the car industry, because as soon as the electric cars launched, we saw the advantage of us having electric cars in our towns more than the disadvantage. It's not a matter of market competition anymore. The future is clean and industrialization practices have to adapt to launching production that is making a great effort towards that purpose. We acknowledge the fact that electric car doesn't have much effect in climate change and its production is meant to last in a clean environment, and it adds clean contribution to invention that have clean purpose while in use in our towns. The fuel industry on the other side, we all know what fuel is able to do and how many of people like using it to start instant fire that lose control if the ambulance don't respond on time. Fuel is a resource that can produce heat energy and often without machinery control. It could be dangerous using it in a public environment and being included in a lot of accident. There's a lot to do when invention of companies comes out to prevent harm for goods human use. Other times heat is valuable for cooking, warmth and other industrial manufacturing process. So it's not only the car industry that had to use fuel to find solutions that will bring fast results into response that needed to answered on time. Let's get back to fuel organization and take a look at the information behind the fuel station that provide energy for cars to keep functioning in the road. There are 3 worldwide stations that we are going to look at today, that have branches of the same trademark in the international market and mean business in the fuel industry. The 3 stations we talking about is BP Garage, Shell and Engine. Let's begin with BP Garage, that stands for British Petroleum. BP Garage, it is a British fuel company and it operates in more than 70 countries worldwide, countries like Scotland, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa and many more. With sales of $251.9 billion, BP ranks 36th among the world's largest companies according to Forbes. BP is an oil and gas company headquartered in London and it generates billions of net income until this day. Founded in 1909, more than 110 years from now, and deal with worldwide market for all these years. African fuel industry were involved in business of fuel for a while now and has a industry it still have to make a great effort into having a clean environment. While fuel causes a lot of pollution and climate change in African towns, the reduction of fuel use will result to less dirty results in African towns. While continents like America and Europe are making a great effort to keep their environment clean and industrialization practices of clean energy by starting at the cars industry to have invention of cars that promote clean environment and exchanging electric cars for cars that use fuel for that very purpose. Africans still have to begin remarkable movement like that for quality service living in the community, while the continent lack inventors that innovate next generation clean environmental products. The car industry in the Africans still have 98% of cars in the road using fuel production to keep it functioning, and it will take a lot of responsibility and leadership to clean the continent's industries. The fuel garage of the same trademark that you'll still find in many African nations is Engine. It's a South African's fuel company petroleum founded 143 years ago in 1881 in South Africa with a corporation of Indians from Asia countries and Mobil Corporation. Originally Standard Oil Company of New York, Engine Petroleum is active in South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Kenya, Ghana, Gabon, Tanzania, Rwanda, Zambia, Malawi and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It has a net worth of $2.6 billion. It still have to make a great effort in organizing it in countries of North and South America. With European and Asian countries, African countries have to work together to create this business objective. That allows them to have the trademark of their very own African business in Europeans countries and Americans countries. This very goal can be possible with the quality service provision from the fuel organization, honest leadership, good annual control and less corruption in the information system of the business administration for the economy of countries to detect finance that is used and managed with great and true leadership. From the heart without hiding anything that have to come to the light for correction. Many stations of the same kind in many African towns is fuel station called Shell. Shell plc is a British multinational oil and gas company headquartered in London. Shell is a public limited company with a primary listing on the London Stock Exchange and secondary listings on Euronext Amsterdam and the New York Stock Exchange. It has multiple branches in European countries, North and South American countries and also many African countries. And the industry revolution goes on as the fuel companies in the industry find their way in many markets around the world. Because fuel is a natural resource that is brought forth in our world in abundance, the primary sector of the business is a segment that involve a lot of financial conflict. But after all the dispute until it makes it in the distribution center. The information of the industry will still be announced that there was a lot of war before the agreement is settled during the process of the primary sector for the economy of the businesses in countries to trade the natural resource. The secondary sector of business where they're manufacturing the process of the fuel production to make it in the fuel station does not have much fights among the leaders. But the primary sector segment wars that was involved still affect the workers' standards and the economy leadership that show low-level practices of prevention of agreement that proceeds in peace. After financial settlement. The tertiary sector distribution have artificial fuel that sells in station. You get diesel and unleaded fuel that sells for an approximate amount $1.8 for 1 liter. The main topic is fuel station that will have the possibility to turn their wealthy business into electric cars station for energy. Hence the car industry are changing cars into electric only, and by 2027 BMW said it will only manufacture and distribute electric cars only, has electric cars take over the market. Fuel cars will be less of use and the station that used to provide fuel energy and employ workers for the function of transportation in our cities and towns, and being named one of the businesses that brought financial development in the economy. Companies like BP Garage, Shell Garage and Engine Garage will have the ability of future leadership to change it to become an electric car station, as the car industry are changing car driven by fuel to electric. Eventually this experience will be in effect. Just like the train transportation industry, when trains were established, they began with coal to keep it functioning in the rail. As time went by, trains began to function without coal and reduced global warming, and it used electric wires to support it to reach every location around the city. Electricity changed the story of the train industry to prevent climate change. It will also change the revolution of the car industry for a clean environment. The future is electric and we are practicing clean energy. Cars that drive with fuel are being replaced with electric cars. The future of cars in the market will be more of electric solutions, and fuel will be used for other purposes in other industries. That's it for now. Catch up next time in the business article from Daily Report newspaper. Daily Report News